or you got to go get a 3.
Yeah, you need wings.
You just need another Keegan Murray. Just go find another version of Keegan Murray.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that over the next couple of days. We talked about point guards yesterday. We went through a bunch of the free agent options, some of the in-house options with Malik Monk and Devin Carter. What about trade options? So we have written down here Trae Young and LaMelo Ball and John Morant.
Yep.
We've talked about those guys a lot on this station, so I'm going to leave them out of the discussion for now. But they're very much on the table, at least for me, if we're talking trades.
Yeah, like look,
I'm just going to put them to the side.
If Atlanta says, "Hey, we're gonna move on Trae Young or LaMelo Ball or John Morant with Memphis," like if those teams say, "Hey, we're gonna start taking bids," like you can't walk into next season with the 25th best point guard in the NBA and think that you're going to be highly successful. You're gonna be a 35 to 45 win team at best. Like this is a guard driven league.
I think you're right. Let me ask you this. I was thinking about this on the way in. I know that you've been anti. I deleted some of the free agent. Oh no, I didn't. A guy like Tyus Jones, and you've said, man, you need to get a better point guard, which I don't hate the take, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. But if your offense is going to look more like it did in the 22-23 season, where it was a lot of Domantas Sabonis, and it was a lot of feed Domantas Sabonis in the high post and let him work, and you're going to have all these actions, and you're going to have dribble handoffs, and he's going to be this distributor who's averaging all of a sudden 8-9 assists a game. I feel like in that sense, having a point guard, like I'm just going to pick Tyus Jones, because to me, Tyus Jones is like good, not great point guard. Fine point, like he's fine.
Yeah.
You need a guy who can bring the ball across and initiate the offense, and then at least be a threat as a shooter and as a cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can get that out of Tyus Jones or out of Dennis Schroeder, where all of a sudden you don't have this like super inspiring point guard, but it's just, man, hey, that's a guy who can do the stuff the Kings offense needs them to do.
Okay, I get that. But here's the problem, and this isn't about Tyus Jones, because I've always liked Tyus Jones.
Yeah. They're just avatars for veteran okay point guard.
I get it, but I think here's the problem. Like the Kings, 48, 46, 40 wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're heading the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea should not be at this moment to plateau, to stop the decline. The idea should be to do one of two things: either jump back up and start being a competitor, or give in and say, okay, we're shot for 2 years. Let's drop back down. Let's accumulate another 2 or 3 first-round picks. So instead of 9 first-round picks over the next 7 years, we've got 13 or 12 first-round picks over the next 7 years. So let's reset. Because where the Kings are right now at 40 wins, it's the worst place to be in the NBA.
Yep.
Because you're not good enough.
You're mediocre and flatlining.
Yeah. Well, that, and you're mediocre, flatlining, and players have a shelf life. They get older and they lose, so you're depreciating.
Yeah.
Basically. And that's where you have to look at, your players are, in a sense, they're depreciating assets in that situation, and you've got to be super cautious. What you don't want to be is who the Kings were in the 90s, where every single year they're the 7th pick in the draft.
Brutal.
Because the 7th pick in the draft, whether it's Lionel Simmons or Walt Williams or I think Brian Grant was number 8, Bobby Hurley was number 7, Jason Williams was number 7. Like, you can find a great player at that point, but it's really difficult.
Yeah.
You either need to be really bad and be in the top 4, or you need to be really good and not worry about draft picks.
Yeah, right.
Like, to get caught in the middle. And what my fear is that signing a league average to below league average point guard just to get by is just going to perpetuate the cycle of being stuck at really bad and mid until your players are too old, and then you're going to have to reset.
Okay. I get that. I think in my version of this, or what I had in my head, is you're talking about taking a big swing, and I don't think there's a free agent point guard
No.
that qualifies as a big swing.
No.
I'm just looking here real quick, making sure I'm not missing anybody.
No,
I
if
don't
you
think
want to
there
be
is.
flashy and go say,
So-
"Oh, we got Russell Westbrook," it's like
no, but like a big like long term Trae Young type of player who's in his what's Trae Young now, 27,
26, 27.
who matches your timeline
Mhm.
with Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, etc., etc. In my version of this, the Kings are signing, let's just say the two Joneses, Tyus and Trae Jones.
Yep.
They bring them both in. Like, hey, here's 2 point guards. We got them now. It's because they're using the assets that they would use in a Trae Young trade or a John Morant trade or a LaMelo trade to go take a big swing at the wing position or one of the wing spots.
Yeah, I mean that's what you have to do.
Like
Because
that's in my mind how this is working. It's not Tyus Jones. That's the splash. It's like, no, Tyus Jones is supplementing additional moves that we haven't talked about yet. That at least that's where my head is at.
I agree with you. If not, you're doing death by mid-level.
Yes,
You're doing death by
understood.
mid-level exception.
And if there's no trade out there where the Kings glut of first round picks and DeMar DeRozan's contract or Zach LaVine's contract or whoever, if that's not getting you anything on the wing market, then yeah, pivot and go get, because you don't want to go, oh, well, we explored wings, couldn't find anybody. Anyways, here's Trae and Tyus Jones. They're brothers. Oh, maybe we'll go get Chris Murray next. Like that would suck. That you cannot live with.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is kind of what I was saying yesterday. Like, you need a $35 to $45 million player, and you need a 14 to $16 million player. And I don't care which position they're at. You need a point guard, and you need a small forward, or you need a forward.
Yeah.
And I think, in all honesty, like the trade market is going to be more flush with high-end point guards, and the free agent market, or the secondary trade market, where you're trading a mid-level exception and a first-round pick to go get a player, or you're trading the Kevin Huerter contract, his traded player exception and a first-round pick to go get a player. Like, I think it's easier to get a $16 million or $15 million wing that can, fill a lot of what you need.
Sure.
Than it is, like, this team has got to find a point guard. And so you're right. It's either or. Either you got to get the forward that you need and spend the 30 plus million, or you've got to get a really, really good point guard.
Yeah.
I just think that the modern NBA, while it's run by, every team has all these wings that the Kings don't have, it is run still by guards. It's a guards league. And it's why Tyrese Halliburton, and it's why Jalen Brunson, and it's why Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's why Anthony Edwards are the 4 best players left in the playoffs.
Sure.
It's a guard league.
Yeah, you have to be able to handle the basketball.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I do think if you make a big splash for, let's just say, Trae Young, and you unload some first round picks and contracts, and wow, look, it's Trae Young. That's great. That can't be all. Like, it can't be, look at this big splash. Wow, awesome. Front office, great.
No,
there has to be supplemental moves. And so for me, I don't hate the idea of going big and trying to go after a wing. If, just throwing an example out there, if Boston goes, yeah, hey, we're pulling the plug on the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum thing, and we're going to trade Jaylen Brown now, great. Go try that. Way rather that than go try and get Trae Young.
Yeah.
Or John Morant or whoever. But we'll talk more about forward options here in the next couple of days. Let's talk shooting guards.
Okay.
Because that's a fascinating position for the Kings.
It is. It's the most crazy position.